Hello students. In this video we will start with the chapter disaster management. But before starting disaster management, do you all know what is disaster? Well, disaster is the sudden event that cause large scale damage to life, to property, or to other social aspects of nation and society. And if you have to say what are the different types of disaster, so there are two types of disaster, natural disaster or man-made disaster. Do you all know what is an earthquake? Well, the vibration and cracking up of the earth's crust is known as earthquake. And what are the effects of earthquake? What happens after earthquake? So the buildings and houses collapse, and because of this severe damage is caused. Now damage is not only caused to the property but also to life. The water, the electricity supply is disturbed, which causes inconvenience to the people. Also, at many times as the buildings collapse, the houses collapse, people are trapped in the rubble and may lose their life. Let us understand how does an earthquake occur. So a shock wave is formed in the interior of the earth which spreads onto the surface in all the directions. The central point of the earthquake is the point above the epicenter on the Earth's surface. So strong waves first reach to the epicenter and therefore major loss occur near that area only. And this, especially the magnitude which is there, it is more near the epicenter and is less as it goes away. So if this is the epicenter, so on the surface of the earth, more amount of damage will occur in this area, and as it goes away, the damage will be less. The magnitude of the earthquake keeps on decreasing. And all of this is because of the seismic waves which are caused. Now these shock which occur, it can be either mild or it can be even intensified. And usually on the earth we get mild earthquakes more, and the large intensified earthquakes are not occurring at every level. But usually mild earthquakes, you must have seen or you must have heard in the news also that earthquake has happened in this place and that place. So it is because that mild earthquakes occur more oftenly, whereas the large intensified earthquake do not occur as usually as the mild earthquake. So if we have to see how many earthquake can occur in a year, so in a year it was observed by the National Earthquake Information Center that there were around 12,000 to 14,000 earthquake that can occur in a year. Now, how can we measure the intensity of the earthquake? So there is the machine, or you can also say there is an instrument which records the earthquake, and it is called as seismograph or the seismometer. Now this seismometer, it records the intensity of the earthquake so that we can know what is the magnitude of that earthquake and what damage that earthquake can occur to us. Now there is a scale which records the intensity of the earthquake. So if you have to measure the intensity of the earthquake, we use the Richter scale. So you have to remember this, that Richter scale is used to measure the intensity of the earthquake, and this is a mathematical measuring unit to record the earthquake intensity. Now there can be few causes of earthquake. So earthquake can cause because of volcanic eruption. So whenever a volcano erupts, lot of amount of energy is released out from a volcano, and this might even disturb the water body, or on the land also there can be tremors which can be felt. Another reason is because of the stress which is because it occurs on the earth because we build huge amount of dams. You must have seen whenever we build a dam, that is we are stopping the water flow, and this might even bring more stress on the earth's surface, and this can lead to earthquake because of the tectonic plates which are there inside. They can even shake. Another reason is mining. During mining we use heavy amount of explosive, and when we are mining at that time also, there are chances that it can trigger an earthquake. Another reason is the underground atomic test is done. Now the atomic tests cannot be done on the ground because of the human settlement areas. So usually atomic tests are done underground, and at that time, as during an atomic testing, huge amount of energy is released, and as it is done underground, so then it can lead to the shaking of the earth. Another reason can be that the water which is there, it can percolate through the cracks of the earth, and due to the tremendous heat, the water converts into steam, and the steam form, it tries to come out, and as it is coming out, as it is trying a way to come out from those crack, it might happen that it can loosen the earth's surface, and because of which, as it is loosening, it is, whenever you pack something inside, if it is very hot, there is a lot amount of energy, and that energy has to come out. Then when that energy will come out, when that steam will come out, that time you must you can see that there will be few shaking of the earth or cracks which can be developed. So all these are the causes of the earthquake. Now, what can be the effect of an earthquake? So there can be biological effect. Wild animals and domestic animals are killed. Loss of life for human beings. Then there is destruction of biodiversity, and ecosystems are endangered. Ecosystems can be destroyed, and as our ecosystem is destroyed, the biodiversity is destroyed. So indirectly, there are a few biological impacts also when an earthquake takes place. There can be economic impacts also, as because of earthquake we can face economic loss. Destruction of infrastructure can take place. Electric poles, houses, buildings, all of this can be destroyed completely, and the urban region may face danger of fire also, because during earthquake the magnitude increases and there are chances of fire. So all of this can cause us economic impacts. Then we also can face geographical impacts, like the flow of rivers and the stream. They can change, as because of earthquake they may change their direction. And the most important thing is that if earthquake takes place in the ocean, then as the earthquake is taking place in the ocean, then it leads to tsunami waves, and if tsunami waves occur, then it might even swipe away cities with it. So the coastal regions are largely affected due to the devastating tsunami, and also in some places the level of groundwater table can either decrease or increase. So all of this is the effect of an earthquake. Now let us come to what you will do if you are at home and an earthquake takes place. So first of all, you should not get scared, not to run and just damage yourself, harm yourself. You should stand silently at one place, or sit on the ground under a table or under a furniture. Wait there till the movement of the earth stops. Protect your head and your face by the covering, and also protect it with your folded hands. So at least your head can be protected. Next is, if you are outside the home, then if you are traveling in the vehicle, you should park your vehicle at a safe place. And one important thing you have to remember, that be inside the vehicle. Avoid waiting below the tall buildings, trees or electric poles, because of the earthquake it might collapse, and it might happen that it might fall on you. So it is important that you should avoid waiting below the tall buildings, trees or any type of thing that can actually fall on you. Stand in an open ground or wait in an open ground when any earthquake is taking place, when you are outside the house. Also, during the time of earthquake, not to use elevators, because you can get stuck in there. Light, electricity can be affected there. It can happen that fire can be caught. So avoid elevators. Do not sit in an uncomfortable position for a very long time. So you should avoid this also. Do not be motionless for a long time. You might damage yourself. Keep on moving your hands, legs slowly. Do not be moving here and there. Uh, Also, short circuit may break into the fire, and therefore do not keep the main electric connection switched on. Turn off all your electric appliances. Do not use candles or lanterns or matchbox. It might break into the fire. And also, instead of using candles, matches, you should use what? You should use torches. So always you should keep a torch in your home. Now, to avoid the damage from earthquake, these days earthquake resistant buildings are made. Now these earthquake resistance buildings are constructed with an idea that even if there is some movement of the earth, the building should not get damaged because of the earthquake. So these are called as the earthquake resistant buildings. There are also some codes of conduct made by the Indian Standard Institute for Construction of Buildings. So, IS 456 states that buildings are constructed. Then IS 1893 states that the earthquake resistance constructions are performed. Then under IS 13920, ductile detailing of reinforced concrete structure subjected to seismic forces. So all these codes of conduct are to be followed whenever the buildings are constructed, and these buildings are constructed under the earthquake resistance buildings, and they can withstand the seismic waves or the shaking of the earth.